I made a video probably a couple of months back now, but I wanted to remake it for this channel because I thought it was such a great point, and after rewatching that old video, I probably would just take it down altogether. It's so terrible. I don't know how I thought it was acceptable at the time, but I'm new to this thing, so we're going through the emotions, and hopefully this one will be much better. But the point that I made in that video was about a little passage from this book that I read at the time, and it basically goes that education is the ladder to the apple tree of success. And this ladder is like lying right underneath this tree, ready for the taking, ready, waiting for you to use it to reach the fruit that you're trying to get to. But people just seem to neglect the ladder and try and jump for the fruit and get nowhere. This ladder, as I say, is lying right underneath the tree, waiting for you to come and grab it in the form of free books from libraries. If you live in even a decent sized city, you've probably got a whole load of knowledge waiting for you in libraries that you can just access for free. Bookstores, secondhand stuff like that, I found some real gems in some secondhand bookshops, and you can get them for dirt cheap. Even online, you can generally get secondhand books on things like Vinted, Depop, eBay. People just don't really want the books. I bought a brand new copy of The Way of the Superior Man for literally brand spanking new. The guy clearly hasn't read it, and I paid about £3 for that. So there's no excuse, like anyone can afford that. YouTube as well, everyone has at least some sort of phone. If you're watching this, then you've got access to YouTube. So infinite amount of free knowledge on YouTube. Like that's such a massive tool today. If you don't know how to do pretty much anything, it's probably done on YouTube, and someone can show you how it's done. So there's infinite amount of knowledge there. And if you are able to spend a bit of cash, then online courses are changing the game of education, I believe. I'm hearing more and more of people, I suppose myself included, who haven't bothered to go to uni because they kind of see like it's a bit of a zero-sum game. You're just going to spend all this money, and then when you come out, you get an internship at really shit pay, and then you have to work your way up. And like, by the time you finish your degree and are earning decent money, it's like probably close to 10 years. And then you've got to start paying all that student debt off. So people are sort of cottoning onto this and realizing I can buy a course for, anywhere from £100 to £1,000, depending on what it is, and just learn through that. So when you've got all of this opportunity for either little to no cost, there is no excuse for everyone to not be learning. You should always be a lifelong student. I love the quote that goes, "Live as if tomorrow never will come, but learn as if you live for eternity." I probably butchered that quote there, but you get the idea. If you're not growing, if you're not learning, you're stagnating. And relative to the world as progressive as it is and your competition, if you're just plateaued, you're actually regressing, because in comparison, everyone else is pushing forward. If you're staying here, the gap's getting further and further. So in essence, you're regressing as they're moving forward as well. So from a success, business, professional standpoint, very crucial. And I also like to make it fun as well. I don't think it has to be super boring. Like with the gym, some people can't get into it. Just find an activity or a sport that you're into and just start doing that. Eventually you're going to get in better shape, and then probably after that, once you see the gains, you're going to enjoy doing it more. There's so many fun ways to learn these days, even with things like Duolingo and stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be progressing you directly towards monetary gain. It can just be good to, improve your skills in any area. And I was actually speaking to my brother about this point a couple of weeks ago, where The modern world is so easy in essence, where we would never ever have to leave this house if we really didn't want to. We would work from a laptop, we have entertainment on tap, we have running water, we can order food and it will be here within 30 minutes. So it's not physically taxing, but on the brain, there's a million and one little things that in a modern world, modern adult life, you have to think about. Boring shit that nobody really wants to deal with, but like they all add up and they can get very stressful. So it's good to make sure that you're on top of your game and that you can learn the skill of learning, which I don't think a lot of people think about. You need to learn how to learn. And it's pretty easy. Just like I say, start simple. Start with something like Duolingo. Duolingo does maths now. Start with something like the little word games on your phone. Start reading fiction if that's what you're into. I personally can't stand fiction books, but if you're into fiction, read fiction. It's going to expand your vocabulary. It's going to make you better at reading and probably writing. Things like learning guitar, learning to stick with it, learning to problem solve and be creative and think of all these things. They all come together, and your ability to learn and improve in seemingly unrelated areas is going to expand as well. That's what I love about philosophy. That's what it stands for, lover of knowledge. And just to be a lifelong student, I don't think there's anything more rewarding than that. For me personally, the sense of fulfillment that you get out of hitting little milestones in any area is amazing. And utilizing the massive amounts of free stuff that we have available in the modern day is just, why would you not? Why would you not? And to know that it's going to be the ladder to get that which you seek, it's a no-brainer, honestly.